is to have your dreams be in front of you. We're going to tell you exactly why we started investing and why we chose investing. So, you guys have been looking at the previous video, and wherever you just start, this is the Young Investors Movement, and we're just out there to just give you knowledge about exotic topics, some things that you've never had anybody else anywhere say. So without further delay, let's go. So okay guys, welcome here. So excuse a little bit if you hear some echo, I'm just in an open class. But literally, let's come back to the reason that we've been talking about, okay? The reason why we just started investing and why we recommend you to do so. Since we start, let me just explain you about habits of spending money. Like, what do you do when you just get money? And like, where do you spend that, okay? So to explain this, we're just gonna be using a couple of things. Okay, if you did not study accounting or entrepreneurship, be gentle, be patient, it's something easy, okay? So we just have a couple of... I'm sorry guys for a bit of noise just that was out there. Okay, so I was explaining about, there are a couple of things we're gonna look at. Okay, so we're going to be looking at a couple of things, which are actually the balance sheet, which shows what you have versus what you owe, like what is yours and what you have that belong to others, okay? And the income statement, which shows what's coming to you, like what's money you're getting and what are you buying, like where are you expending it, okay? So a couple of other things that you should know, like other things you will see are revenues, which is like the incoming money, okay? And then expenses, which is like the money you're spending, assets, which is those all things that you bought that are yours, and then liabilities, which is all things that do not belong to you, okay? So let's get to the analysis that I was telling you, okay? So look here, now we have four of these things, okay? We have four people. This is one, this is two, this is three, this is four. Now these are four different people, okay? At the beginning we have like this man is a poor man, okay? Say that. Okay, with a little, like little income, okay, and little knowledge. So this is somebody in the middle class, okay, and this is somebody who's considered rich, okay. And now I have a pretty good thing for you if you're a student. Here is a student, okay. It's something you invented. So you see, poor man's income statement, okay? Like if you look out there, when somebody like these people are people who are used to get a few in the revenue, okay? Maybe they do a couple of things and it brings a salary, okay? And then all salary that gets into their pocket, okay? So like they spend it, company, okay? Like all salary, everything that comes just goes out, okay? So these are the kind of people you always see, they say, money comes and they just go directly, like there's always things ready to take money when it enters my pocket, okay? And they're most of the time always broke, okay? So at the end, if all coming just goes out, at the end of the day, they own nothing, okay? So to the middle class person, okay, so there's a difference here. The middle class person, let me just describe this person. They have a job, okay, they are workers, maybe for government, maybe for any business, okay, and they just get like their mainstream as salary, and maybe they have more than one job, or they do like example doctors, teachers, like all those guys, okay? They are in the middle class, okay? So the way money moves into the middle class people is a little bit like it causes some confusion, okay? Because they too have their salary, okay? And their salary just gets in there as revenue, okay? But there's a problem with these guys, okay? These guys, whenever money just comes into the revenue, they come here. Something that does not belong to you, okay? Like it takes money out of your pocket, okay? So they buy liabilities and then buy expenses, and then just goes out at the end of the day they owe nothing to you. Now, I want to explain here a little bit, okay? What is considered a liability? In this sense, in a sense of like personal holding, we mean liabilities, we mean anything that is just taking money out of your pocket, okay? In accounting terms, this is not a term. This is not true, okay? But in this case, you just mean something that takes money out of your pocket, okay? And in this case, let me tell you something that you probably have not thought about, right? A car, right? Somebody's buying a car for just walking, okay? If you think about it, these people already had some expenses, okay? And when they buy cars, like for traveling, they need gas, okay? They will pay the insurance, okay? And all those kind of expenses, like all those kind of automobile expenses, okay? Which at the end of the day, if this guy is not making money, like they are using it to travel, okay? It just becomes a liability because it's consuming them, okay? So that's an example of a liability. We just get to explain this a little bit more, okay? And then they buy expenses and then at the end of the day, they just don't have anything. Asset, when I say having anything, I mean assets, and assets by definition, a very simple definition like this one, like asset brings something in your pocket, brings money in your pocket, and then liabilities just takes money out of your pocket, okay? Something to understand very easy. Now, let's come to the rich guys, okay? These people maybe, I think the difference between this and this, the first difference between this guy and the rest of the people here is just attitude, okay? Because suppose they are making salary, okay? If they are, some of them own businesses and okay? So when they get their first salary, like the first thing they buy is an asset, okay? By definition, asset is something that makes you money. When we talk about this, we're just saying real estates, like the buying place, and you just like for maybe if it's for living accommodation or business, like people are doing business there and they're paying you like monthly, yearly, something like that. Okay? We mean real estate, we mean stocks, we mean bonds, we mean a couple of other things. Okay, like real estate, like stocks. If I say a stock, it's shares in companies, like they own companies, and then the commodities, and a couple of other things, okay? And then when I'm talking liabilities here, I mean something like cars, okay? Like mortgage, like this thing, like they take loans just to build a house for living in. And when you have a house, and it's not making money, it's a property where you live, there's something added to that, like a property tax is added to that, and this thing also just goes costing you money, okay? Now, let's come to the interesting part that if you're a student like me or anyone else, you're gonna need to know this one, okay? The last phase, okay? So for the last phase here, in the income statement of a student, now things are a bit different because for us, like, if you're like starting on a loan, like many of people here in the UR community or just in Rwanda, so you have your sponsor they're just pumping you loans, okay? By one is a liability, you just get to just pay it in the end, okay? And then, what do you do with this? So, just money comes out into your pocket as revenue, and then you just spend it all out, okay? So at the end of the day, you have nothing, okay? So in our situation as students, I want to emphasize that this thing because to fund our expenses, okay? And at the end of the day, we just own nothing, okay? Now, where this translates to is that we're just getting something that we should be doing in the future. Like maybe in the future we just need like to raise our projects. We have more dreams that we need to fund in any way, but then we have this very big loan burden that we have to pay first, and then maybe that dream is even like having a happy family or anything you can think of, like like having like marriage, planning marriage, something like that. So at the end of the day, you find like you have just consumed so many things that at the end of the day, you just don't own anything. And this is what we just saw. I remember there's a friend of mine, one of the co-founders of ITTL, just gave me a book called like Rich Dad Poor Dad, okay? So this way I got just all this concept, and when I just read this book, I say, there is something, there is a change that's needed, and that change is, for now, when each of us, okay, when we just get some of the money, some of the revenues, either from different other sources or just from here, we just try to look a way when it just enters the revenue side, we just buy some asset, okay? Something that's bringing us money in our pocket, okay? Because this case is very risky, because in the future you will also still need to spend, but you will have a burden of a loan that you have to pay, okay? And this just will keep you more and more broke always. So money can't, just goes up. At the end of the day, you're just gonna be like someone like this, okay? So what do we instead of you guys just getting money and you just fund expenses, okay? If you're a student listening to me, instead of funding like loans with expenses, okay, just try buy some assets, okay, and then use these assets to fund expenses, okay. That's what we have seen, and actually buying assets is what we call investing. Let it be simple, okay? So, to just summarize what I was talking about here, investing is a way just to get more, like to accumulate wealth over time, okay? Because when you buy an asset today and tomorrow when other money comes, you buy an asset and those assets are making money now or probably somewhere in the future, then you are ready just to you will be wealthy in the future because you just accumulated more and more of some things that are valuable. And the difference between this person, and this man who just buys assets first is actually knowledge, okay? This man knows what to do with their money in the way that it will just make more money. And in the end, it's what I told you in the early videos of just getting the money work for you instead of working for money. If you guys want to make money work for you, it's time to start buying assets. Now, in the future videos, we're going to be talking about assets in D, okay? So thank you very much for everybody who has been watching until now. Okay? Just remember to join the ITTL Young Investors Movement community in the Facebook group. And yeah, we're happy always to have you. Thank you.